This is for lightworkers, dragonfire keepers, new earth architects, star seeds, phoenix rising, empath star seeds, etc. Whatever you label yourself as or know yourself as, this is for you. This is primarily for the narcissistic abuse survivor community that have found their awakening, aka you broke the veil. You are a veil breaker. You remembered that you are source, that you are all that is, that you are just an atom of God here on earth. What I want to describe has been coming in hot for the last couple weeks, and I'm ready to share it. So when you were born on this planet, you were born into the 3D false matrix, slave state. You were asleep, meaning you forgot who you forgot you were source. You were under the veil. You were in the upside down, which is the demiurge, the opposite of oneness. The upside down, like I love the Stranger Things metaphor. So you are an atom of God here on planet Earth that has been in a slave state. You came down here to save this planet and bring her into the fifth dimensional frequency. She was in one of the worst states possible, and you are a strong enough soul to come down here and sign up for this mission. And without knowing it for years, like me, your frequency was a sponge for negative energy. You were feeding the matrix. You were part of it. You were miserable, but you were trying your best to survive. You were in survival and fear. And your CPTSD, your worry, your overthinking, your trauma was keeping you as a feeder of the archons, meaning there were incarnate beings on the planet feeding off you, like the reptilians and Dracos, and then the negative ones. And then there's also feeders, negative beings that don't have their own light, narcissists, embodied and in spirit, meaning we just can't see them, they're in different form, in another higher density realm, feeding off this frequency. It's the frequency of fear and survival. So what happens is, as you went on your narcissistic abuse survivor journey, your healing journey, you had your spiritual awakening, as you woke up and remembered that you are source, you had to have an existential crisis. Like, why? How could the people that say they love me the most treat me this way? This isn't love. I'm miserable. I don't want to be here. Blah, blah, blah. So you woke up and you healed. And when you healed, your auric field became solid. You brought down your light. This is a heart. Sorry, it doesn't look like one. And your heart center, your higher self, your soul frequency, everything that you are turned on. It's like a little match that got lit. That's your fire. And you remembered that you are source, and you decided to heal. And your auric field became strong. And you're no longer an empathic sponge absorbing all the crap from everybody else and feeding this nightmare. You became sovereign, and you're pushing out your light now, and you're whole and complete in yourself. The tricky part of this for all of us is realizing we are this while still watching this. But as each of us heals and becomes sovereign and whole and pushes our light out instead of feeding the darkness, this is how the earth is healing. And when you break the veil, that's when they say we're going through the 3D, we're touching the fourth and then going through the fifth. This is what that means. You're no longer just here. When you touch this higher frequency, your Akashic record, your DNA, your coding, it's your forever. It's your spiral record. It's the history. It's everything your soul has ever been through all of time. There is no time. It's just this constant swirling information of all the things you've ever done and been through a Fibonacci sequence that's spiraling down. And that's your Akashic record, your history, all that you are. And there's pieces of you in other dimensional layers. I have the archons here in the fourth, the lower fourth, the dream state, the nightmare realm. Right when you pop out of 3D, the lower fourth is where nightmares live, in the archonic frequency. Higher fourth, that's your good dreams. And then fifth, that's what we're all working towards right now. And most of us are in, if you're listening to me. So, but then you have the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And it keeps going, right? You have the dimensional layers. People need to understand you're not just here right now. What I've remembered, and I think most of you are remembering too, is that as you wake up your DNA strand, your forever, your reincarnation lives, all the things you've ever been, this mission didn't come easy. A lot of us are like, oh, I think it's the first time I'm here. For some of you, it might be your first time here, but for myself and the collective I think I resonate with, we're realizing we've been here a lot. I've had over hundreds of Earth lives that I've remembered, because you have to come down here to sign up for this mission to get Earth out of this state that's multidimensional in this slavery state. You had to have some serious training, some warrior of light training. So you had a lot of Earth lives. You were burned at the stake. You have your witch wound. You remember when you were in wars. You remember when you were sick. You remember when you were a slave. So you have Earth history lives from all your reincarnations on Earth that were building you up. It was like your training to get you strong enough to handle right now. So you can integrate, talk about a healing journey, not just this life. You're integrating all of these lives that you've had on Earth, but there's even more to it. You're integrating. There are different versions of you, your soul frequency, across the dimensional field that's incarnate currently and in the past through all of time. In the future and the past. This is future and past. This is the all. This is you, always experiencing. And I think you tap in at different times. It's hard for us to imagine with our Earth brain, but we're all things all the time. And so right now, you broke the veil. You remembered your source, you're integrating your past lives, and you're healing. And when you do that, you're healing yourself across your dimensional field, across your current lives that are incarnate and across the past ones, making yourself a brighter soul, more lessons learned. You've touched more darkness to touch more light. Your soul is growing as you touch negativity, you get to touch higher positivity. That's the infinity spiral. And the deeper your soul decides to go and that you can get through it, the bigger your light can get. Dark to light. That's the balance, the yin and yang, the light and the dark. What I see in my mind's eye is when you heal yourself here in the hardest layer possible that Source has yet to create, you then integrate and heal your fragments across not only this life in your auric field and this incarnation, but across your entire record. You are a master of light. You are a warrior of light. You remember that this is simply a game for the expansion of Source to see how far it can go from light to dark to remember its light. That's the game. And this is the sickness that plays the game. And when you've lived it, healed it, integrated it, not only are you doing it here, you're doing it across all of your lives from the beginning of time when you stepped out from Source and said, hey, I got this. I'm going to go play. That's what we're doing. So take a breath. Know you got this. This is choose the gratitude, choose the lesson, choose the understanding that you're here for something way bigger than I can even explain to you. But this is how I see it. You're healing yourself through all the layers of things you've ever been on Earth lives and across time in different systems, universes. I mean, who knows how old you truly are? Only you can find that for yourself. And when we stop feeding these guys, and enough of us play this game and remember who we are, this will turn into a 5-dimensional paradise. And we get to have a break and enjoy some fun. So let's do it. Love you.